To the Ed Show. Thanks for watching tonight here on MSNBC. Sean Hannity may be getting a visit from the tax man very soon. VoteVets and the Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, they are calling for the IRS and the FTC to investigate Hannity's Freedom Concerts charity. Now, Freedom Concert supposedly benefits children of killed and wounded troops. But conservative blogger Debbie Schlussel recently outed the charity and labeled it a, quote, huge scam. She claims only a fraction of the funds raised actually went to the cause, while most of the money was used to shuttle Hannity and his pals around in private jets. Freedom Alliance denies the allegations. For more, let's bring in Jon Soltz, who is the chairman of VoteVets, and also Melanie Sloan of the Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. Melanie, you first. Allegedly, what has Hannity's charity done wrong?
Well, I think the biggest thing is Hannity gets on television and promotes these freedom concerts and says all the money is going from the freedom concert ticket sales to the charity for college scholarships for children of wounded and killed veterans. And that simply isn't the case. The money all goes to something called Premier Marketing. And Premier Marketing is run by a guy named Dwayne Ward, who is a longtime associate of Oliver North. And Mr. Ward also just happens to run the Premier Speakers Bureau, which represents both Hannity and North. And then at the concerts, they sell tour collectibles under Premier Collectibles. So basically, the whole thing is a money-making enterprise for Premier Marketing. And then some portion of the ticket proceeds, and we don't know how much, goes over to the Freedom Alliance for the scholarships.
Okay, and again, who owns Premier Marketing?
Dwayne Ward, a longtime conservative. He started his career with Jerry Falwell.
Okay, all right. Mr. Soltz, what does this mean to the veterans if this is true?
Look, it's horrible. There's a lot of great Americans out there and American families that give money to veterans charities. The Washington Post did a huge expose about a year and a half ago that exposes a lot of these charities that spend 90% of the money that comes in on overhead. And this looks, to be a classic case of what Sean Hannity's involved in.
Okay.
And so it makes it more difficult for Americans to trust that the money they give is actually going to help fallen soldiers.
All right, this is the response today from Freedom Alliance. Today, Freedom Alliance was attacked with baseless complaints. There is absolutely no merit to the scurrilous charges launched against Freedom Alliance from the two of the most left-wing organizations in the country, the smearmongers who have launched this politically motivated witch hunt against Freedom Alliance will be proven wrong as we aggressively defend ourselves in the days and weeks ahead. It was written by the president, but I tell you what, it sure sounds like Hannity wrote it to me. Melanie, where's the violation here? I mean, I understand that if there's not a whole lot of money that goes to those it's supposed to benefit, you violate the spirit of what you're trying to accomplish. But where is it written that you have to have so much go to the cause?
That's not actually the essence of our complaint, how much money has gone to the cause. The essence is that they've been on TV saying all of the money goes to the cause, when in fact, the money doesn't all go to the cause. And that's really the problem. The Federal Trade Commission regulates deceptive marketing, and you can't trick people. You can't say all the money goes for something when it doesn't.
So do you think this is a scam? Do you think, from what you see, do you think this is a scam?
I do. I think it's a scam that makes a lot of money for Premier Marketing, and that benefits Hannity and Oliver North.
Now, Hannity last week in front of the Talkers Convention, a little get-together here in New York, he actually received an award for this, a public service award for this. And I asked him straight up, I said, what's happening with your charity? And he said to me, I haven't taken one dime. He also went up to the microphone and said that this organization has got $15 million in the bank. And Mr. Soltz, your thoughts when you hear that kind of number being tossed around?
I could personally care less if Sean Hannity took a dime. What he's doing is he's promoting a Republican corporation or conservative corporation that's basically marketing something that doesn't exist. They're out there selling and branding that their nonprofit, their charity, raises all of the money that they raise goes to the children of service members who've fallen. They're using that brand to sell. What they should say is 10% of the money that you give to this concert goes to children of the fallen. And so he's basically complicit in a lie that's benefiting unfair and actions that we believe are possibly illegal from a corporation that he's basically in bed with.
Melanie, what do you want the IRS to do?
Well, the IRS needs to look at the Freedom Alliance. The Freedom Alliance is engaged in partisan political activity in violation of its status as a charitable organization. They've been promoting Oliver North's commentary, running these freedom cruises where people like Michael Steele and Newt Gingrich come on board. And this is a C3 organization, which means it's not supposed to be involved in partisan activity. So that's what we want the IRS to look at there.
What is the next move here? You've filed your complaint. You've made it known that you don't agree with it. Mr. Soltz, what do you want veterans to do?
I want all Americans not to give any money to Sean Hannity's concerts. I think that's the first thing, because they're not giving the money to the fallen troops and family members. I think there's a lot of other good organizations like the Wounded Warrior Project that help our troops that have been wounded do activities. I think that's the first thing. And, we eagerly await the results of the investigation.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Melanie. Thanks for being on tonight. We'll have more on the story as it develops. Now let's turn to our panel for some rapid fire.